Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing week 17 of the local tournament reports. This week I ended up taking a Tri-brigade Zoo, a really fun deck to try out, and it's a lot cheaper than it once was. It has lost a bit of power. It's not exactly a tier 1 deck in my opinion, especially the Zoo variant, but still a pretty solid option to try out at your locals if you're looking for something new to play. This week I ended up going 3-1. I did end up missing out on the top cut just because there was a lot of 3-1s and my pairings weren't the best, so I did get knocked out. But I'll be going over the matches, and then I usually have a pack opening at the end, but it was only the 2 entry packs and I only pulled supers, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that out of the video this time. But yeah, I'll go over the matches and then a quick deck profile. So if you're new, consider leaving a like, comment if you have any questions or suggestions, always nice to see. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, very much appreciated. So let's go ahead and get right into the deck profile. So starting off, we have one of the best starters in the deck, 3 Tri-brigade Fractal. If it's in your hand, you can discard it, and you can also send it from the field to the graveyard to send a Tri-type monster to the graveyard, which will usually be one of your other Tri-brigade monsters. And then all Tri-brigade monsters have the same effect where you can banish Tri-types from the graveyard to then link summon depending on how many you banish, so 1 through 4, and then you can bring out that link rating beast or Tri-type monster. So really nice. Then we have 3 of the Tri-brigade kit. Pretty awesome. When you get it to the graveyard, by any means, you get to send another Tri-brigade monster. And what you'll usually be sending is the Tri-brigade Nerval. Now, Nerval lets you add a Tri-brigade monster from your deck to your hand, so you can get Fractal, or you can grab the 2 Kuras, or one of the 2 Kuras. Now this one, you can see in a lot of different deck profiles, either people are going to run 1, or usually they'll only run 2. I like sticking with 2, and I've even seen a couple builds where they actually max out. Just not the best Tri-brigade monster to open up. You can special summon it by discarding a Tri-type from your hand, so it's a bit of an extender, and if you do open up multiples, it is really bad. Of course, if you don't have anything good to send to the graveyard, like kits or anything like that, because then you're basically just going to be able to get a body on board, and that's about it. For the extenders, we have 3 Rescue Cat, the best normal summon for the deck if your opponent does not have a response, or if you have the Gamma in hand and you are able to resolve a Rescue Cat. This is going to give you a bunch of advantage. It lets you special summon 2 Beast Warriors with different names, Beast Monsters with different names, sorry. So you're going to get the Kuras and the kit, and then you can just go with your plays from there. So the best opener for the deck. Then for the small zoo package, we have the 1 Zodiac Rapier. It lets you send a zoo monster to the graveyard when it's normal summoned or special summoned. So what you'll usually send if you go that route is going to be the Ram, but usually I just focus on using them for the Zeus play. If you're going up against a big board that doesn't have a bunch of negates, and you can kind of get through it with the Borbo, and then go into the Zeus, it just can change the whole outcome of the game, of course. For the hand traps, we're going to go ahead and start off with, of course, 3 Ash Blossom Joy Spring. The best hand trap, of course. It is a bit on the pricey side, especially if you're on a budget, but it is really one of the best hand traps you can run. So if you don't have them, unfortunately you will have to try to replace it with maybe some traps, or something else in the main deck, but it is a really strong card. Of course, stopping your opponent from getting a draw, a special summon, or sending a card to the graveyard can be a huge help. And then 2 Psyframe Gamma and 1 of the Driver. Of course, I've said this in a few other videos, I just haven't picked up a 3rd Gamma. I really need to, but it is really good. If you don't have anything on your field, you can negate a monster effect and destroy it, and then special summon the Driver from your deck. And then if it is your turn, you can synchro summon into the Psyframe Lord Omega. I do not run it in this deck just because I didn't really have the space. There's a couple cards I could have cut out to put in, but I did end up just running the 2 and then the 1 Driver. and not putting the Synchro in the extra deck. For the last hand trap, monster hand trap that is, I run the 2 Nibiru. Now this is a pretty good ratio in my opinion. Comes up, and when it does come up, it can change the outcome of the game, of course. A lot of decks do go past 5 summons without putting up a negate, so you know, it is really strong. There are some times it does not come in as clutch, so it's an easy side card if you're going up against a deck that doesn't special summon 5 times without putting up a negate, or just 5 times in general. That'll do it for the monsters in the main deck. For the spells, we got 2 Fire Formation Tenki. Of course, add you your Beast Warrior, so you can get one of the zoo monsters, or you can grab your Fractal, depending on what your hand's looking like and what plays you want to go for, and of course what your opponent has on their board. Next, 2 Forbidden Chalice, the poor man's Forbidden Droplet. It's just a monster negate, but it does target, so a bit unfortunate there. And it only negates 1 monster, so you know, Droplet has the advantage there. And then 2 Twin Twisters. You can get a lot of advantage if you're able to discard Kit off of it and destroy some back row. And it's always nice to have the Mystic Mine out. For the last spells, we got 1 Called by the Grave. You kind of need it. Getting rid of an Ash or something really strong in the graveyard can be a huge help. And then the 1 Foolish Burial to get plays going for free. For the traps, we got the 3 Infinite Permanents. Now this is a very strong card, and luckily has been reprinted a few times, so hopefully you have your supers. Just a very strong card in general. If it's in your hand and you control no cards, you can activate it from hand and negate it monster. And then if it's set already, you can negate that column. So it could be super clutch in mid-game. Then 3 Solemn Strike. I usually run Warning, but I decided to put in Strike this time just because I wanted to try it out, see how impactful it was. And Strike is still pretty good. Negates a monster effect or a special summon, which is always clutch, and it's only 1,500 life points, which is a lot better than 2,000, of course. And then the last 2 traps, 2 Tri-brigade Revolt. Searchable, get you your monsters back from the banish pile or the graveyard, and you can link right away, usually for the Omen, to get a banish, and you get advantage from the Tri-brigades going to the graveyard. So very nice. For the extra really quick, for the zoo package we have the 1 Borbo, 1 Chaka 9, 1 Tiger Mortar, and of course the Zeus to round off the Exceeds. Just super free. If you have a zoo monster in hand, you just stack them all and then go into a Zeus once you attack with Borbo, because Borbo lets you attack directly, of course, and then you can just get a board wipe or 2 board wipes, which is very strong. Then for the links, we have the 1 Almirage, just in case you open up Kit or Nerval and you need to link off into a 1. Next we have the Double Dragon Lords. This is a very nice interruption. You can send one of your face-up cards to the graveyard to then return one of your opponent's face-up cards to their hand. Really nice interruption if you hit the right card, of course. Then 1 card you can change up, and that is the Fergie. I like to run 2 just because there's a lot of times where it's helped me build a bigger board and go into, you know, some of my link 4s and stuff like that a little bit easier, and helped me get a few games. So I do like it at 2, but a lot of builds nowadays only run it at 1, so definitely something you can change up. Then next, the 1 Tri-brigade Bear Rum, the Rampant Rampager. Just nice for the trap card. Its other effect to discard 2 cards and then special summon a tri-type from the banish pile is or hardly ever comes up, but still there if you need it. Then we have the 1 Silver Sheller. This is really nice for a Link 3, and it lets you special summon one of your Tri-brigade monsters that are level 4 or lower from your graveyard, and then it returns to the hand during the end phase, so really nice to get some advantage back. Then 1 of the Doom Eagle, another Link 3. If your opponent doesn't have any cards in the graveyard, it goes up to 48, and then you can return one of your opponent's monsters from the graveyard to the deck as a quick effect, so really nice to get rid of some key cards. Then 2 Tri-brigade Shurag. This is, of course, the best Link 4 for the deck. Gives you a non-targeting banish, And when it's sent to the graveyard, or when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Tri-type monster from your deck to your hand, which can be either the Zoo monsters or another Tri-brigade monster, of course. And then 1 Apollousa, just for the negates. Haven't been seeing this pop up too often. A lot of people have been taking it out just because it isn't as strong as it once was, but I still like it. And then of course the 1 Boral Sword Dragon. If you have access Kotaker, definitely a better option. But as of right now, I do not have one. But yeah, that was the deck profile. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. And if you're new to the deck, hopefully it helped you with a guideline on some of the cards you'll want to try out. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.